Welcome to the RotoWire Fantasy Soccer Show. We're coming to you on a Saturday to talk about Sunday's four-match slate. I'm joined by Ryan Belongia. I'm Adam Zdroik. Ryan, we are in the middle of a two-game slate, and in about 25 minutes, we're going to get lineups for Tottenham and Everton. So it's just a busy Saturday morning for us here, but we're still providing content for a four-gamer on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe we can win something while we're doing the show today.
Right. I think at halftime, Ryan was just saying he's in fifth place and seventh place of the main GPP. So we'll see what happens with that. We're I don't know, inches away from a Wolves goal we had in the first half, but we'll see what happens over the next
Hope
however
to get
many
lucky.
minutes. Yeah, yeah. But for this one, we got four matches, so a little more. Today's two-game slate was. It felt like a Sunday slate, I guess you could say. It was. I think there's one defender between 3,300 and 5,000, and it just made things kind of weird. It forced me into Johnny. I know we've had Johnny discussions in the past. I in one of my lineups, I decided on Johnny over Anthony Robinson. Didn't work out in the first half. We'll see how that goes, but. For this one, we have Arsenal at Leeds, implied goal total just over three. I think that number dropped from earlier in the week. We have a question on Gabriel Jesus and Mason Mount. So before I guess we get into it here, Mason Mount, it was released yesterday. He's set to have a scan on his thigh today, so maybe we'll have more information on that. We'll see if he starts. As for Jesus, he missed the midweek match. And as you can see in our note, Arteta had his press conference this morning and was basically like, yeah, he picked up an issue and he didn't travel with them Thursday, so he's a doubt for this one. We could see Nketiah up front there for Arsenal. So we got a couple questions of maybe main pieces, maybe not main pieces, but so for forward, Ryan, I guess in these four games in general. Does anything stand out to you, or is it like this? You got to think Arsenal and Leeds goals in this match, but what about these other games here? Any early thoughts on them?
Yeah, it's a tricky slate. Arsenal getting a lot of respect. Total above two away to Leeds. I mean, I guess Leeds is, they give up goals, but Arsenal's been really good this season. So, I mean, it's weird that like Arsenal away to Leeds is a better spot than United and Chelsea, but it makes sense with the way the season's gone. The prices, the pricing is interesting on this slate. Manchester United's really cheap. We'll get into that. Southampton's really cheap, and then Arsenal's really expensive. So yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. To be honest, I just pulled it up 10 minutes ago, so I'm still kind of looking through it, but I think we can figure it out.
Yeah, I put together a lineup yesterday. I don't know. It took me like 2 minutes, and there's like cheap guys. This is for just for cash games.
Yeah,
If you want to go both Arsenal guys and JWP, like there's a way around it that like the rest of your lineup isn't ridiculous, which
you
normally
know,
you wouldn't say when you put three high end guys in there, but like we have like if Tomiyasu starts again, like he's going to be a cheap fullback. We have some Southampton guys if you want to go there. There's just cheap guys. We'll get into
yeah,
Gallagher as we talk midfielders. Like there are cheap guys who aren't massive punts or anything. So
yeah. I'm glad you said that because I also put a lineup together in about 5 minutes that I thought was pretty good, and it has zero Arsenal players. So,
okay.
yep,
So I guess let's get into it. So are you
yeah. Let's
you
get
don't
into it.
do you not want to pay for Saka and Martinelli here at their prices?
Okay, so no, I would like to. Yeah, I mean
Okay.
Saka and Martinelli, they're the best plays. They have a high floor and the highest goal total. They're expensive though.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean I want to play them. Let's see like if we have enough value, or let's see. So I was just going down the list. Jared Bowen 8,600. Then I saw away to Southampton. Pretty good matchup. Bowen Bowen's been pretty good, and he's got a
Hmm.
pretty high floor. Still splitting sets, tons of goal and assist upside. 90 minutes. So, I mean, I don't know. I think the gap in price between Bowen and those Arsenal guys is a little bit too much. I do prefer the Arsenal guys if they were the same price, but they're not. So I don't know. I didn't mind starting with Bowen.
I agree with that. It's just too much between those guys. It just depends where you want to spend this extra cash if you don't go high on those Arsenal guys. Like for some reason, I know Reece James is out, but I'm just seeing here that he's 8,500, which is
Yeah. And okay, so yeah, it's nice that Reece James is out actually because 8,500, like we wouldn't play him anyways without set pieces.
it's
But
wild.
it's nice not to have to deal with that. But yeah, okay, so I would just skipping ahead a little. I have three midfielders in this build, and you know there's some decent midfielders on this slate, but I guess if you don't pay up for one of the midfield spots, then you could maybe pay up for an Arsenal forward and Bowen. I haven't really looked into that yet, but it could be possible if you don't play like Christian Eriksen, for instance, or I don't know, one of the other expensive midfielders.
Overall, it seems like the forward position maybe isn't one. There's been a lot of slates where it's been like we kind of need the money, so let's spend down a little bit at forward. But I mean, I guess you look at it like it's not like Southampton are in the worst situation, and it seems like every match their guys are underpriced. Like we got Adam Armstrong, Joe Rebo are down here in like a 4K range. Home against West Ham isn't terrible. It's not like what at Man City. It's not
Right,
even like
right.
it's not even the same as at Aston Villa at Wolves. I'm just looking at recent matches here. Like they're home. I mean, they need points. They're sitting near the bottom of the table. You still
It's
got
a fine
Joelinton
spot
in
to
here.
target. Yeah,
hmm Yeah,
I agree.
so I guess you could go Arsenal, you could go Bowen. You have guys up here that are fine to spend on, but if you want to spend on, as you said, three midfielders, a couple midfielders, it's not terrible to go down here. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
ways we can go, basically.
yeah. And I was actually looking at a guy who I'm pretty sure I've never played in cash before, but now this doesn't mean anything. But he had a 24-point floor in the Europa League on Thursday. It's the cheapest I've ever seen Rashford, 6,100. He's been playing 90 minutes, and I would never consider him in cash, but it's not that he's like $800 more than Shea Adams. I don't know. Like if Rashford was, let's say, 7,100, you'd think, okay, it's pretty good GPP play for 7,100. Like he probably should be 8,200. So I don't know. I'd be okay playing Rashford. I think at that price.
If he was a little more expensive, I wouldn't do it. I mean, you
Right. I
did
mean,
mention you
if
did
he was
mention
like
the
just
midweek match, but like Manchester
that
United
doesn't
had
mean
like
much. Obviously, he's
they
been
had
in
like
really good
40
form though,
shots.
Rashford.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
like
and it seems
I
like
just
he's a guy that's gonna go 90 too, so you have
yeah,
that
like
in there.
look at this game log. He's never went. I see that. Well, he went 59 minutes against City when they got crushed, but yeah, he's playing 90 minutes almost every time, at least 80s. I don't know. I'm just saying it's something I considered that I wouldn't normally consider because that's cheap.
hmm Right. It doesn't seem like I guess Martial is technically a doubt, so he'd be the one guy on the bench that would come on, and I guess you got Sancho there too, who's been kind of removed
Sancho
from the lineup a
44
little bit.
4,400 for Sancho.
If he starts, I mean, he didn't even play in their last league match, so
Yeah, he's kind of out of favor right now.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know I guess outside of the Arsenal prices, like a lot of these prices make sense. Granted, like why is Rashford 3,000 cheaper than his teammates Anthony and Ronaldo? That's weird. So I mean that's why you're
Right. I
looking at
mean, just
Rashford,
take
but
that. Like, is Anthony? That's who's going to start. Yeah. Is he a better player than Rashford? Just if they were the same price, like I don't really think so. So that's crazy, right? That doesn't make sense, obviously. So
no, yeah, Anthony goal in his first three Premier League matches, which
yeah, and
is gonna
yeah,
have people looking at him kind of a thing.
for sure. No, yeah, he's been good. He just He's been getting subbed early. But yeah, it's just a big price tag.
Hmm. Otherwise, at forward, like a guy like Skamaka, 7,100. Not in cash games, but just like forwards to consider here. We know Southampton's back line is pretty bad, so Skamaka has been pretty good, as you can see, back-to-back games with goals, 5 shots in the game against Fulham. I think he was completely rested midweek as well, so uh, that's a boost right there. So, but I mean, 80 minutes in the last match. It was a situation between those guys, him and Antonio, where it's like those guys would maybe do 60 minutes, 70 minutes kind of thing. But I think for right now, it seems like Skamaka kind of has that role for West Ham, just like a tournament idea.
Yeah,
And
definitely
then
good tournament idea. He scored some nice goals.
yeah, Havertz is 5,400. I won't be looking at that match really from like Aubameyang, whoever starts up front really for Chelsea. Just the way Aston Villa have been defending. I mean, we saw them, I think it was 1-1 against Manchester City like a month ago. They're just playing super defensive. They aren't allowing a ton of opportunities. Probably not a match I'm going to target, though.
Yeah, they always try to get you with that Havertz price, huh? 5,400. I mean, no, yeah, you're right though. It's not the match I want to target either. 5,400 for Havertz. I just have to have a little bit of exposure in GBPs. Just takes one chance for 5,400. Chelsea are
Hmm.
obviously a better team than Villa. They've been playing well. So, but yeah, I agree. That's not the match I want to target.
Are we at a point right now? It has like the Graham Potter's Chelsea turned into Brighton to where we're not gonna look at Aston Villa guys because they're
Yeah,
playing Graham Potter's side.
kind of, and they already had a really good defense. I mean, it hadn't been playing well, but think of last season. Just think of the players they had. I mean, they won the Champions League based on their defense. So yeah, like it's not a spot where you want to target these Villa guys, and like they're cheaper than they've been, but they're not as cheap as Southampton, for example.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, no, yeah, I don't want Villa. Do you against Potter?
No, uh, I mean McGinn here is 4,600. A guy who gets to his numbers with what's Luis here, but not their forwards, not their attacking players. Luis is 4,400, but yeah, I mean it just feels like this isn't a game that's going to be up and down. So what are we like trying to go with here? Like what's the thought process in going with this match when you have cheaper Southampton guys in a
Right. So
game
like you
that
said,
should
right.
have more goals?
So like yeah, exactly. So I mean, if the thought process would be you would want like if I was to play an Aston Villa guy, it would be like Ollie Watkins. You're not going to get there with a floor from any of these other guys. You just want the one chance at a low own goal, or like who knows what can happen. Chelsea can get a red card, maybe he scores 2 goals. I'm not going to do it, but like that's what I would look for, like a low own forward.
Right. I mean, you just look at it. It's like Ollie Watkins, more than 2 shots in one of his last 5 matches. So, like, why is that going to change against Chelsea?
Right, right. It's just you're going to have to hope for like a lucky goal.
Hmm. Yeah. So if Nketiah starts, is he gonna be any of your lineups here? 7,900.
Yeah, I think he would have to be. He's just because he's so much cheaper than these other guys, and he can score 2 goals. He'll have to get there with goals, though. He's not going to go 90 minutes. He doesn't have much of a floor, but of course he can score. So yeah, I think so. And I don't think he like. Do you think he'd be popular? Do you think he'd be popular if he starts? Like, sort of, but not like crazy.
No. Where's Bamford
People
at
don't like to
actually?
play him, and
Bamford's
like
4,500.
yeah, like especially with some of the prices on these other guys, people don't really like to play in Ketia.
Mm-hmm. Nketiah went 90 midweek. I'm not sure what that means for this game, but if Jesus is out, there's a chance Nketiah goes 90 again in back-to-back matches. A slight chance, I'd say. So,
Right. I mean, Arsenal really only have two number nines, Jesus and
yeah.
Nketiah. That's it.
Yeah, so the other move would be if like they completely changed formations and Nketiah wouldn't go 90. That would be the case. But yeah, I mentioned Bamford 4,500. We've seen Arsenal allow goals. Uh,
He's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
not the craziest move. I guess he's kind of
No.
like he's in that Southampton range. And uh, would you prefer like the Southampton guys or Bamford right there?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it'd be easy to just say the Southampton guys, but I think they're about equal. I don't
Hmm.
know. Like, uh, I've watched a lot of Arsenal, and they've been really good for the most part, but they're still inconsistent during matches sometimes, especially on the road. Like, if they get a lead, you're surprised sometimes that they're just hanging on a little bit, or at least the other team that has a lot of possession and can create chances here and there. So yeah, no, Bamford scoring wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, he went 62 minutes last match. He's still, working up his fitness. I'd say maybe closer to 70 minutes kind of a thing for this one. But okay, yeah, that's pretty good for forward. We kind of talked about everyone here. Yeah, I guess I
Mhm.
do have to mention like Chelsea and Potter have at least the last few matches. Like he's pretty much rotated a bit in league play and Champions League. In Champions League, like they've been with the 3-4-2-1, like that classic formation, and then in league play it's been a little different. Like you throw Reece James out of there, but they had like kind of like a 4-2-3-1 last league match home against Wolves, whereas like Aspilicueta and Cucurella there at fullback. So I mean, something to monitor, like because that's going to depend on what things look like for Chelsea's lineup. The assumption is that Gallagher is going to be in there. He came on for Mount midweek and then went almost 90 last weekend. So I guess as
I
we
yeah,
yeah,
I
go ahead.
agree with that. No, I agree with that. I think they were well, I don't know. I don't want to I think they were trying to accommodate Reece James on the wing. Well, wait, sorry. Was Reece was playing in the Champs League or in the league?
Champs League.
Oh yeah, so they've been playing then yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you have the formation right is what I was going to say. Like
Hmm.
it seems like they're going to play four and have Conor McGallagher.
Yeah, because they were 3-4-2-1 in Champions League where Reece James got hurt and he went 62
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So something to keep an eye on, but like we could have we'll see what Potter wants to do. Like he did have Sterling on the left wing at one point, but that'd probably be Cucurella, maybe Loftus Cheek if they do a 3-4-2-1. Something to monitor here. But if Gallagher starts and pretty much no matter who else starts, are you just plugging in Gallagher for cash games here at 5,300?
Yeah, if Gallagher starts like yeah, you just play him no matter what. It's too cheap, right? For a favorite set piece taker, and he's also playing a bit more attacking for Chelsea. At least he
Hmm.
has been. Yeah, that's just too cheap. You just play him, right?
I think you do. I mean, you look at the odds. We did say maybe don't look at this matchup for a ton of players, but he's too cheap.
But
He's
hmm
cheaper than Granit Xhaka, which kind of says it all right there. So I think
right, yeah, yeah,
you just put him in, and it
yeah. You just
allows
put him
you
in.
to go forward. But I think a bigger question, I guess, might be: do you go Ward Prowse 8,300? Seems kind of cheap on him. I think it's been a while since we've seen Southampton on one of these classic slates, or at least one we've talked about. A couple matches, I'd say, but
hmm
maybe the last time we talked about it, he was 10.2K at Aston Villa. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, maybe.
8,300 home against West Ham. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you just play him, right?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he didn't do anything against City last game. That's expected. He didn't do anything against Chelsea, but like home to West Ham, yeah, it's too cheap. Like you said, I mean, you'd expect him to be 9K here, and like you wouldn't be shocked if he was 9,500. I don't know. Yeah, I think for cash games, you just play him.
Yeah, he was like okay, he was 7,400 for the trip to Man City. Okay, so that makes sense, but this does seem kind of cheap compared to the rest of the season if you just
Yeah,
look through his
I think
prices.
I think just there are times when people would have seen this and just jammed him in, but just for whatever reason, the way Southampton are playing this game log, like for some reason it'll be a question for some people, or maybe he won't just be a lock in the spot for some people. But I don't know, for cash games, I don't see how you don't play him.
I mean, otherwise, what else is there? We have
Right.
Ericsson here at 8,100, home against Newcastle. He's taking set pieces, but it's just like,
Like
uh,
it's okay, but it's not as good as Ward Prowse,
right. You have Ward-Prowse also on PKs that has to go into consideration, and it just doesn't seem like I don't know, the upside isn't there with Ericsson. I guess
hmm
he's on set pieces, but how much does that mean? It doesn't seem like Manchester United are getting a ton of corners as it is. I do think this is a hard matchup to read just based off Newcastle, but I think it would
hmm
be pretty tight though.
Yeah, that is a hard matchup to read. But I agree. That's an interesting matchup. Man U at home again, because they were at home in Europa League in a must-win spot, and I actually watched that whole game, and they got very lucky to steal it in the 95th minute with Scott McTominay. I mean,
Right.
just a heartbreaker, absolute heartbreaker for Apoel or whoever they were playing. Um,
Was it Ammonia Nicosia?
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Um, I hope I thought I froze. Yeah. Anyways, so they're cheap here, but like, I don't know. That it was about to be sort of like, I don't know, like a mini crisis again for United, and then they sort of bounced out of it. Now they're back at home. I don't know. Like I mentioned with Rashford, he's cheap, and look at Bruno,
Yeah, I just saw
6,800.
that.
I mean, or 6,500. Bruno's 6,500.
Wow.
I mean, he hasn't been taking sets. So I guess you probably, you're not really looking at him in cash games. I don't know. Maybe you could though, as like a last piece in. 6,500 just, I don't know. It seems weird.
Would you play Odegaard? I guess for tournaments, would you play Odegaard or would you play Bruno here? About the same price.
That's a tough.
I mean, they're
Who's gonna
kind
be
of in
more?
the same role for their teams. Maybe they're not going
Yeah,
to be on corners, but a set piece on
I
top
would
of the
say.
box or something like
Do
that.
you think Bruno will be more popular?
I don't know.
I mean, no one ever plays Odegaard, and I mean, no.
Yeah,
So
that
normally
is
people would look and play the guy who's in the better spot with the higher goal total. But when you have Odegaard versus Bruno, I don't know. I don't know. I could see Bruno being higher owned. I don't know who would I play. I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm not sure.
goal odds. We got Odegaard at plus 300 and Bruno is plus 210, which I don't really agree with, but these are the odds. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if Bruno's playing in front of Ericsson and somebody else, it's like I don't know. You figure he should be scoring more goals or having more chances than he has, but I don't know.
Speaking of goal odds, I just want to go back to forward here. So these Southampton guys, Shea Adams 5,300, Adam Armstrong 5,300, 3,900, plus 230 to score. Same odds as Anthony at 9,500.
hmm
That's kind of I don't know. That's kind of
Right?
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it makes sense, but just
I mean,
based
it
off like the
probably.
team goal odds, it's kind of weird. But I guess Southampton 1.29 implied total, so it's not that far down there. So okay, I guess
Yeah, I don't know.
Ronaldo kind of takes all the
I think it makes sense. Yeah, because like when Ronaldo and Rashford start, Anthony is way out there wide, and like his path to scoring a goal is a little tougher.
okay.
I don't know. It's just
Just
what I
yeah,
maybe not. It's just a guess, but I see him always like hugging the touchline, cutting in, trying to take long shots, trying to beat guys, trying to whip crosses in. At least when Rashford and Ronaldo are there.
hmm yeah. I mean that just seems to make sense with pretty much how Ronaldo plays.
And
So
Newcastle's not like like a cake matchup or anything.
no, no. Yeah, that's why this one was kind of hard to read because we saw the 3-3 result against Man City, and in home games like Newcastle love to pressure, love to push. So I wonder if they're just gonna change up their style a little bit, just being away from home. Manchester United have been pretty good at home in league play.
I mean, yeah, like I don't know. You could see. someone could say like, well, yeah, Rashford and Bruno, and they're so cheap because this game's just going to end 0-0 or something. Like
Yeah,
sometimes.
we haven't really seen it this season, I don't think, but end of last season with how there's a lot of, Newcastle 1-0 matches kind of a thing, just low scoring, maybe 1-1 kind of matches without a ton of opportunities for either side. I wonder if that happens here, but
Yeah.
as I said, it could go 3-3 like the Man City game. So I'm not positive what's going to actually how this game is going to go here.
No, me either.
Otherwise, midfield, I mean, we still have some interesting options. I mentioned the Villa guys, but probably you'd rather like Brendan Aronson here is 5,200. He's been cheaper than Jack Harrison. I mean, for a good reason all season, but I mean, he's 5,200. Maybe not in cash games when you have Gallagher here, but just guys to consider for tournaments. Does anyone else stand out down here? If you want the two Aston Villa corners, you got Douglas Luiz at 4,400. You playing Thomas Partey here at 3,900?
Are we back?
Yeah, you're back. Are you playing Thomas Partey here at 3,900?
Am I out again? Yeah, there's like a storm here and it's windy and raining like crazy. Thomas Partey at 3,900. I don't really want to. I don't know. Do you?
No, I was just
Like I
running
did.
through.
Okay.
I was running through the midfield list. Does any of
Okay.
these like sub 5K guys stand out for you?
Yeah. So last year I was jamming Partey in these spots. But this year he's just playing deeper and Xhaka's much further forward. Yeah. Does anybody stand out down here? I don't know. Did you say anybody yet?
No one really stands out, not in terms of. I was mentioning, like, if you want a couple Villa corners with Douglas Luiz, but I
Mm,
mean, not for tournaments. Like, these guys are just like fine plays. I was talking about Brendan Aronson,
mm-hmm.
5,200.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Brendan Aronson.
And then I think we got confirmation. It must have been in the Champions League that Jorginho is taking PKs over Aubameyang, and he's 3,500.
Yeah, so
So
that's fine
very,
for tourneys.
yeah. Yeah, otherwise,
Yeah, no.
central midfielders, defensive midfielders, where's Jacob Murphy, 4,700. We just got the news this morning that St. Maximin injured himself again, basically. So that
Mm,
spot on Newcastle's left side is going to be open to like Murphy and Frazier. So something to keep an eye on. Maybe not in this matchup, but
yeah. I mean, I don't really want to take a chance on any of these guys.
no, it's like Jorginho, and I mean maybe if like Loftus Cheek played on the wing
That's
at
what I was gonna say.
3,600.
Yeah, Loftus Cheek on the wing, I could get behind that.
I mean, you see Alonga right here at 4,000. He just really hasn't been playing in league play, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
I
even
guess
sure
it's
he's worth a
possible, but
mention, right?
I guess
And
it's
then,
possible. Maybe Ten Hag maybe he's pissed after that Europa League match.
well, the first one they went down a goal 2 weeks ago against in that matchup,
Hmm.
and then they
Hmm.
came back. Yeah, Jacob Ramsey always GPP 4,300. Stuart Armstrong, another Southampton guy. The thing with Southampton is like you don't know where their goals are coming from. They're all pretty random, and they've been pretty bad this season. So it's kind of if you want to go Southampton, it's like take your pick and good luck kind of a thing.
Yeah, you could maybe play Stuart Armstrong. I don't know, but yeah, you're right.
Sorry, I'm just looking at these games are going on right now. So while we've been talking, Mitrovic had a PK and Ruben Neves had a PK, and I think there was a a missed PK for Nottingham Forest. So I'm just going through the game logs of what's happening here.
Damn, Neves. Okay.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson missed a PK apparently. So
Wow, my guy Brennan.
yeah, sorry
That's
about
too
that one.
bad. Yeah.
So for defender is I don't know what. What do we do at defender? So we have Ben Chilwell if he starts. We got Cucurella if he starts. That'll be on the left, at left. So if they're playing four in the back, if they're full back, are you looking at either of those Chelsea guys?
Not really. Like, are you? I like if they're playing four at the back. They don't do anything except take set pieces. It
Right.
seems like in this spot. I mean, as far as floor points, they're going to be pretty
So
dependent. Go
if
ahead.
they play in the wing, are you going to consider them then?
Yeah, like I wouldn't love it, but like for tournaments, yeah. Even though I don't love this matchup, on the wing, Cucurella or Chilwell could show up with a goal. I mean, they do get forward. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like you like it less than I do, no matter where they line up.
Sort of, sort of.
Yeah,
Just like the overall numbers, I was the Aston Villa Nottingham Forest match. I was on a lot of the unders and under corners. Like Aston Villa aren't allowing corners really to. I think they gave up maybe. It might have not even been four corners to Manchester City in that game. There's just like there's not a ton of things happening in their matches, and I'm not sure Trippier here. Like, are you considering Trippier in this matchup? It just doesn't seem like he's worth it either. 5,700.
yeah.
Uh oh.
Uh, I am though. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's worth it in a vacuum, but on this slate, when there's, I don't know, he's the best defender on this slate, like pretty clearly. I don't know. I don't really expect Man U to just dominate possession. Like this isn't City against Newcastle. Um, I don't know. I still think Trippier has the highest floor of all the defenders in this spot. He's not like a great player or anything, but I still think he's the best. So
Hmm.
I would try to play him in cash games. And I'm not a Trippier guy, but I still think he's the best. And I don't know. It seems like you don't want to play him though.
It depends. Like as I said, that original lineup I had
Yeah,
both
like if you're
Saka and
right. If
Martinelli. Like I'm not gonna have money for Trippier basically.
so, if you're, it's interesting because if you play the Arsenal guys, then maybe you don't play Trippier, and there's some cheap defenders to play. Uh, I don't know. I guess we can just go down. Like, look at this range right below 4K. I mean, I don't know if I could play a Luke Shaw, but I mean, we were playing Luke Shaw at 6K before. Now he's 3.9. Tierney 3.9. I mean, again, hasn't with Zinchenko out there. You kind of got to like Tierney here for
I
3.9. I mean,
think
he's not a great
Tomiyasu.
play, but
I think Tomiyasu starts again.
over Tierney,
Tierney.
they
I don't know
both
if he.
start. No,
I don't know if Tierney went 90 on Thursday, but Tierney did start on Thursday.
okay,
And
so no Tierney.
Tomiyasu base will kind of
Yeah,
lock down Mo Salah, that last league match. That's
yeah,
it.
okay. But anyways, the best option I think is Kyle Walker Peters in that
Okay.
range for
Yeah.
3,800. So I can't believe I'm saying like he's a better option than Shaw. Maybe he's not. Like if you want to play Luke Shaw, go ahead. But
Go
I
for
think
it.
Kyle Walker Peters is a little too cheap.
Right, as I was saying, with the Saka Martinelli lineup, I plugged in Romain Perrault and Kyle Walker Peters in this
Hmm.
4K range. It's not like this is an impossible matchup. West
Right.
Ham are another team who, have UEFA matches midweek, so like they, have the extra
Yeah.
match. I think, yeah, they were home against Anderlecht, but still,
Right.
still
These are the
minutes on
spots
them.
where Southampton like need to pick up points.
Hmm.
Kyle Walker Peters is good, and
Hmm.
he does a bit of everything actually.
The other thing I will say, as we talk about this match, is like West Ham. You see our projected 11. They have some question marks. I think Kerrer missed Thursday's game. Zuma's maybe dealing with some sickness, but like Dawson got hurt in that game. Agbana got hurt in Thursday's game. So you have those questions. Like you have questions on their back line. We could see something else with them. So something to keep an eye on when lineups come out. Like if it's something weird, like if Ben Johnson's back playing center back again, like he was earlier in the season, I think that's a spot to target because when you saw earlier in the season, like Ben Johnson's not a great center back in a four-man back line. So But I guess we
Yep.
kind of looked
No.
over Cresswell here at 4.9K. Is he out of the equation, or if you don't go Trippier, would you consider him if you had the money here?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think, you don't really love him, but let's say you loved your lineup and could only get to him instead of Trippier. I think that'd be fine. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of the opposite of what we had this morning for Saturday's slate in terms of just like defender options. Like these guys are all fine. Like if you don't want to go Trippier or even Cresswell, there are guys down here that are decent options. Maybe not the Aston Villa guys, as I'm just scrolling through here. They're kind of expensive for this matchup, but I mean, we mentioned pretty much what's available to us. And if you want Tomiyasu at 3K, he's down there. I don't think anyone else really stands out unless I'm missing someone here. Yeah, do you have any other ideas down here outside of you
Not
know below
really.
4K here?
Nah, not no one that I like really, or yeah, no one that I'm like jumping to play. I don't know.
Yeah, Luke Ayling, if he starts, he's 4K, but still probably not a guy who's going to be
Yeah,
going 90.
I
Pascal
was just
Strike
make
is 4,300. Probably
yeah,
not.
like probably not. I was just looking at I was making a lineup with the Arsenal forward instead. Bowen with Martinelli just because he's cheaper. Ward-Prowse, Gallagher, Walker Peters. You can do it. Yeah, you have to punt keeper and then punt another spot. And yeah, you can do it if you want to. I was just like looking at my 2v2 because I said I had Rashford, but didn't know what I was going to do at util or at the flex. Like, what were you thinking? I mean, are you going to play a third midfielder there or a third defender or what?
Depends what I come. It depends everything else. The first lineup I made, I ended up with 3K in my utility. So, like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I would have too if I
okay,
play one of these Arsenal guys or somewhere around there. And I just
and
don't know
like,
if I want that.
right, that'd be basically Tomiyasu here.
Right. And so like you could play, Saka, Martinelli and Tomiyasu or Rashford and Ericsson. Like or Bruno and Rashford and a better goalkeeper. Or like not even Rashford, who I don't know. Like it's tough. It's like you got to decide if you really want those Arsenal guys or like how big of a
Like,
priority they are.
well, let's. So, who do you prefer between Saka and Martinelli? I guess we didn't
I mean,
really
it's
discuss that.
well, Saka has pens, but other than that, like, I mean, I would prefer Saka if they were the same price.
Okay.
But like Martinelli is a good play too. I mean, they split sets. Their floors are similar. I still think Saka's is a little, just a little bit higher. I mean, Martinelli started the season really hot. But yeah, I like both of them. I don't know. Do you have a preference?
Right, I just say Saka for PKs. I think that's probably the smart move.
Yeah,
It's only
they're just
500
they're,
more, but you got the PK upside. It's just hard to like what else are you gonna do with that $500? But I just swapped out Martinelli for Bowen, and that takes you from like a Tomiyasu to up to like the Cresswell range kind of a thing. So
Yeah, and see the thing is, Bowen's a pretty good play, just like on his own. So that's why I
hmm.
don't mind doing it. I think Bowen's a good play for 8,600.
I mean, I don't. I guess for tournaments, like Tomiyasu isn't a tournament guy. I don't even know if he made the score sheet last season, but he's
Oh,
still
3K. Yeah, I just saw that 3K.
he's still like in most
Mm.
matchups, it's like he's gonna get to 5 points.
Yeah, you
And
could play Tomiyasu. I guess I don't know why I thought he was more than
okay,
that for some reason. Yeah,
Ye-
yeah. Okay, so 3K in cash, I wouldn't mind Tomiyasu. Yeah, that's
right?
a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. He's not like. I mean, he's not even like a tyranny who gets probably more forward, but and sends in more crosses. But
Yeah,
just with
you're
the
not gonna.
defensive stance
Yeah,
stats.
you're not gonna get much offense from Tomiyasu, but look, like a couple, like
Hmm.
a cross, a shot assisted.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 5 point floor against Liverpool, so why can't he have a 5 point floor against anyone, really? So,
Yeah, for 3K, I think it's fine.
mhm. For goalkeeper, I think, I mean, depends how much money do you have, but are you going to spend up at goalkeeper here? Like, do you,
I don't think so. I mean, the first thing, like, I just put in Emmy Martinez,
okay,
or
yeah, I
like,
was going to say,
you know,
that seems like the most obvious play here.
yeah, it does. Yeah, I agree. Like spending up, I don't know. You never really want to spend up for an Arsenal keeper away. I don't know. I still feel that way. I mean,
No.
this is a different Arsenal team, and you're not going to be surprised if they keep a clean sheet against Leeds. But yeah, I'm not like going out of my way to spend up for Arsenal here.
You say that, and Arsenal actually have 3 clean sheets in 4 away matches this season.
It's a new Arsenal team. It's a new Arsenal team. It is.
Yeah, I mean it's Leeds at home. Yeah, it is still
Like
kind of tough. Like you see the 35% clean sheet
right,
odds.
35% clean sheet odds. Right. So I guess I see Chelsea. You'd play Chelsea keeper in cash, I guess, at those odds.
Right.
But still, I'm not like it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, it just feels like Emmy Martinez 4100. If one match was to go scoreless, it would be this game, I think. I mean, we Chelsea are having some success here under Potter and they are scoring goals, but if we remember, like from Potter's teams at Brighton, those teams weren't very good at scoring consistently. I'm not saying
Hmm.
these Chelsea guys are the same as Brighton guys, but just the style of play combined with Villa style of play, like that match to go scoreless kind of a thing at
Yeah, look,
4100. It just seems like that
better
that
clean
move is
sheet
just
odds than Pope and Newcastle above him.
yeah.
So yeah, I know,
Yeah,
I agree with you.
yeah, it just seems like why go with these other guys? I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, I mean, he's got better odds than the other ones. What? No interest in going Bazunu either. Probably no interest in going Fabianski. It's almost like either go Kepa or go Martinez is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Cool. All right. Any other thoughts here? What do we got? We just ran through this. We're still these matches. No other goals have been scored, if I'm correct here. Let's get some more final thoughts on this slate, and then we'll look over the Everton Tottenham lineups here.
Oh
What's
yeah.
the best tournament move do you think will be in this match? You got to think
Uh,
like the Arsenal guys will be popular outside of Odegaard, and we'll see who starts up front. Who's going to be the second most popular team? Do you actually think like whoever starts for Chelsea, like you got to think Havertz at 5400 will be pretty popular if he starts?
this is such a this is such a weird slate. Like, who's going to be popular? I like, yeah,
Like you
somewhat,
can't
but
think Ronaldo's going to be that popular at 9900. That
I mean,
seems kind of wild, but
he is Ronaldo,
he
but
is
yeah, no,
Ronaldo. Yeah.
I don't really think so.
I honestly like Shea Adams as much as I like Ronaldo on the slate. I don't know
I
if that
like
means I'm an
Che Adams
idiot,
too.
but
No, I don't. No, I don't think you're an idiot. Che Adams he's like gonna be one of the few forwards I play for sure. I would definitely like Che. I mean, I already mentioned it. I think people are gonna play this guy, but I mean, hope they don't. But just Rashford, man. I mean, 6,100. He's in good form, so I'm gonna play some Rashford. I think people will. I think people will just agree with me when they see that price, but
hmm
maybe not. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Besides that, there's not much, man. I like Che Adams too. I like the Southampton guys. Like, That's my strategy normally. That's probably going to be my strategy again when you have some midfielders to pay for. Like, I don't know. I'm going to spend up for Arsenal guys. I'll spend up for a couple midfielders and then look for some of these cheap forwards.
right. I think you can pretty much. I'm in agreement here, but based off my comments on the show, you could probably guess what I'm thinking. Probably gonna go Arsenal and then both sides in the Southampton West Ham
Both
match.
sides. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like both. Yeah, I like Bowen for tournaments as well. Skamaka for tournaments. You can even play. the other attackers on West Ham. Yeah, I
You just
agree.
combine with, West Ham playing midweek and some injuries in there, and Southampton matches in general are higher scoring. I'm probably going to bet like over 2.5 in that match. I'm not sure what the odds are on that one, but it just seems like those are the best ones to target. And yeah, I mean, you can look at the cheap Manchester United guys, and that'll be a popular route. So that's probably why I'm not going to go there. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going with. I'm not sure I'm gonna change my mind, even if lineups are different or anything. So
No, I don't think you should. I think that's a good plan.
just win some money. All right.
Yep. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the Spurs Everton lineup. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, let's take a look here. So we got
Perisic and Doherty on the wing for Spurs with Son, Richarlison, and Kane up top.
yeah, we got someone
Um,
at RotoWire plugging in incorrect lineups. I see. So I'll fix that because Ben Davies is not a left-sided midfielder. Neither is Richarlison.
Everton looks like Anthony Gordon suspended. Okay. Gray, Mopai, McNeil up top for Everton. Just a random thing about Everton. I've watched them a few times recently and a few times earlier in the season, and I went out of my way earlier in the season. I sent a couple messages to my brother saying just like I couldn't believe how bad Alex Iwobi was. Like I couldn't believe it. Like, and these last few games he's been playing unbelievable. Like I've been so impressed with Iwobi recently, and it's just funny when that happens. Like it didn't even like I couldn't even believe he was on a Premier League team, and now he's actually looked really good. Anyways,
Yeah, no, he's came on. I guess it was late last season, second half of last season, and this season he's been. I mean, he's probably made the score sheet a few times in a row here, but
he's actually two of the goals he scored were amazing. But even
yeah,
besides the goals, he's been everywhere. And normally, why like I was so down on him was he's just not an accurate passer. He's got a heavy touch. He doesn't like weight his passes well. He's good at like the physical side of the game, running everywhere and that type of stuff. But he was just letting Everton down. They'd be in great spots, and
mhm.
he wouldn't play somebody in or just be a touch off. But he's been much better recently.
Yeah. I mean, I. What do you think's gonna happen in this match? Just
I don't know,
quickly
man.
here.
I don't know.
Okay.
Tottenham, man. I mean, you never know with Spurs. Like in spots you think they're gonna do well and have possession and create the most chances. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen?
I was on Everton last week, and they kind of let me down against Manchester United. Like some of their, weak spots kind of shined in that loss a little bit. I guess Iwobi got the opening goal in that one, but
Like I mean, you
this does feel like an under. Like Everton are probably going to try for just keep this game tight as possible, not allow Son to get on the counter, not allow Kane to get on the counter, kind of a thing. But I mean, I do just like Everton more than last season. Like they have
yeah
Gay and Onana in there, and like their back line with Tarkowski and Cody is better than last season. So I still think like last season is still in a lot of people's minds for Everton, and that's kind of where some value has been this season. So maybe I'll probably do a Pickford lineup is kind of what I'm coming down to here. Pickford
yeah
captain,
no I
that
don't
is.
yeah I don't mind that. Like you'd think like this should be a spot for Spurs. Coming off a nice win in the Champions League, and like Everton struggled to create chances here, but Spurs always seem to give a few chances, even to the lesser teams. But yeah, I agree. I can see sort of a under, sort of a stalemate. I don't know. You never know with Spurs. I'm bad at predicting Spurs. I get them wrong all the time. So
Yeah. I guess we have the Richarlison, maybe not revenge, but just game against his former club. So that's
oh
something to keep in
yeah,
mind here. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't think of that.
But all right, that's all we got for Sunday's
How is
four
this Wolves
gamer.
game still going?
I just saw it's in like 10 minute, 10th minute of stoppage time. I'm not sure what's going on. I think there was a lot of VAR checks around those PKs.
There must have been.
So we're still waiting on Ryan's still waiting on that Jose Sa winning clean sheet here as we ride it out. The Max Kilman Johnny stack here, or at least that's my stack. I'm waiting for that clean sheet to hit. But Ryan, you
Yeah.
can find him at Ryan Belongia on Twitter. These cheat sheets, rotowire.com/soccer trial free
Unfortunately,
tournament
I'm.
trial.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Oh, you're
unfortunately,
good.
I'm not going to win. I think I'm going to get like third. People got Jefferson Lerma ahead of me, Ruben Neves ahead of me. Close. Okay. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, that's all we got. Enjoy your Saturdays, everyone. We'll be back next week. I guess we got Manchester City Liverpool on Sunday as well. I have not looked at the contests. If the contests are intriguing, maybe I'll do a little something for that. But Ryan, thanks for coming on a Saturday, and good luck. Good luck today. Good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks. Good luck, everybody.